Yo, what's up? What's going on? What's good, everybody? The Boxing Source checking in here with another edition of Keys to Victory, this time for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dynamite Dubois. We're going to talk about what both fighters should kind of do here in order to get the win and become undisputed heavyweight champion. Now, first with Oleksandr Usyk, we did have the fight before where Oleksandr Usyk was able to get a stoppage victory, and we all know about the whole Luis Pabon incident. Okay, now with Oleksandr Usyk, it's kind of like the same thing that what he did in order to take down Daniel Dubois. And that is, almost like sting and sting and sting and move and sting and move and foot movement. That's the thing with Oleksandr Usyk, is that he'll stick, he'll move. And the thing about it is that you would think with Daniel Dubois being, a little bit taller, that he might have the longer reach. No, not necessarily. He has the build pretty much that says that his arms are a little bit more compact at 6'5". But with Oleksandr Usyk there at 6'3", he still has the reach that he'll be able to get to Daniel Dubois, and he was able to do that in the first bout. And as being a southpaw, he's able to, have the lead right hand and just sting and be the faster fighter. That's the thing about it. Be the faster fighter, moving, being the faster fighter. So he's going to continue to do that. Make sure that he has the avenue to be off the line, like I said, being off the line when you have orthodox against southpaw, having your lead foot on the outside of your opponent, so you do have that exit point, and you could, 1, 2, you could shoot to the body, go with the right jab, left to the body, you could turn around and go with the right cross, and still have, the left hand up to be sure to kind of like block the right hand if it's going to be coming over the top from Daniel Dubois. So with Oleksandr Usyk, I would say it's more of the same thing that happened in the first fight: movement, timing, speed, precision. The thing with that is that, hey, we're not going to have some instances where you might see Oleksandr Usyk surprise Daniel Dubois with a big shot, big power punch maybe. But you could see it where it's more about a speed thing that could just throw off the timing of Daniel Dubois and, throw his equilibrium off. So that's the thing here that you got to see from Oleksandr Usyk in this battle against Daniel Dubois. Now on the flip side, Daniel Dynamite Dubois coming in there with a high amount of confidence, having his wins over Jarrell Miller, over Filip Hrgovic, over Anthony Joshua. So his confidence is through the roof. You see him there. And the new. Let's go. Yes, and the new. And the new. Well, Oleksandr Usyk is just looking at him like. And so it's something there to see Daniel Dubois getting psyched up or whatever it is for this bout against Oleksandr Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship. But this time with Daniel Dubois, he can't, be, tentative. He can't necessarily be calculated. He has to, I would say, throw caution to the wind in a sense. I know that, Don Charles has been able to properly guide Daniel Dubois in his last few fights. And, props to Don Charles being, one of the better trainers out there in the game. But I feel like for Daniel Dubois here in this, he has to throw caution to the wind. He has to, take a couple punches in order to throw some. Go to the body early and often. Do not think too much about what happened in the first fight. You were executing, going to the body in the first fight. It was working well in the first fight until the whole controversial thing there with Luis Pabon. That shouldn't deter you from going to the body of Oleksandr Usyk, and you should continue to do that, especially if Usyk is going to be moving and trying to get off the line. As I say, the line there. Now, as I mentioned, with Oleksandr Usyk being a southpaw and Daniel Dubois being an orthodox fighter, what you're going to try to do is with your strong hand, it's going to be strong hand versus strong hand in a sense there, And if you are trying to have Usyk have this exit point, which is going to be to your left. Like I say, throw that hook. Have him not think about going to your left. Have him only going backwards and going to your right. That's going into your right hand. So you got to be able to get to the body early and often. Make sure that left hook to the body is there for you and prevent those exit points for Oleksandr Usyk. Going to the body early, wearing them down, and then once you do that and just try to go, I wouldn't necessarily use all of your energy there in those first few rounds unless if you feel like you're going to be very successful in those rounds, like we seen with Daniel Dubois against Anthony Joshua. But if you could just, stay calm, stay patient, and be as precise as possible, cutting off those exit points for Oleksandr Usyk. Like I said, I feel like the left hook to the body for Daniel Dubois is his key to getting this win. If he's able to do that, like I said, throw caution to the wind at times, because for Daniel Dubois, it's more about him being able to land his shots, because of course he's going to be the more, the stronger fighter. So I say, you know what, throw caution to the wind. Don't be too tentative and go at Oleksandr Usyk. I would say it's going to be a little bit similar to how the start of the second fight between Usyk and Joshua was, where Joshua was just the man just coming forward, just walking through, coming forward, and try to, prevent those exit points from Oleksandr Usyk. So for Daniel Dubois, he should pretty much do the same thing. Left hook to the body, as I keep saying, left hook to the body, left hook to the body, left hook to the body. All right? That's for Daniel Dubois. So with that being said, it should be a great overall experience at Wembley Stadium here coming up later today. And it's going to be like I said, a big bout for the heavyweight division, and could, kind of like determine what's going to go on for the future of the heavyweight division, as you're going to have Oleksandr Usyk there, who has 3 of the 4 titles. The IBF title was vacated at that point, but he's there at 38 years old. And with Daniel Dubois at 27 years old, it could be the potential of Daniel Dubois kind of like shaping what the next era of the heavyweight division could be if he's able to score this win over Oleksandr Usyk. And, with it being an undisputed title fight, and, one fighter having a title, or 1 title, and another having 3, unless if there's going to be a super serious demand for it, there might not be another fight between these two combatants, particularly with Oleksandr Usyk being at 38 and this being his 1 fight this year. He had 2 fights against Tyson Fury last year, and sometimes when you get older and you're there in the ring, these fights kind of take a little bit more out of you. So we got to see here first how Oleksandr Usyk is able to get through this fight, win or lose, and then after that, we'll see what's next. But just tune in for this bout, like I said, Wembley Stadium here later today. And we'll see who's going to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get over to 3,000 subscribers here at the Boxing Source YouTube channel. All the support is very appreciated. Till next time, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.